There are a number of things to consider when attempting to dampen or soundproof a room. Soundboard is one option that seems to have people on the fence. Some love it, and some think it doesn't do anything more than a second layer of drywall. But before we get into the soundboard installation, I'd like to say this video is not sponsored by any company producing soundboard. I'll also add that the ideas expressed in this video are purely based upon my own speculation. However, I will be doing a decibel reading at the end of this video so we can get an idea of how well the soundboard is working once it's up. Side note, this is probably the dustiest material I've ever used in my life, so I'll be wearing a dust mask through the entire process. If you're curious about installing soundboard for yourself and maybe have a few reservations, I think you'll get the gist of how I feel about my decision to use it on this building by the end of the video. So if you remember episode 5 of the shop build, I caulked and taped all the seams before fully insulating the bottom floor of the shop and made a big mess with caulk and flooring paper to cover the walls. The idea is caulk between the paper and the wall creates a bit of decoupling, which allows the soundboard to vibrate independently, attenuating some of the acoustic waves that may transfer to the outside of the building.
So normally in new construction you don't have outlets already in outlet boxes, so it poses a little problem because you can't use the inside of the outlet box to cut out your holes in your sheet goods. I don't know if there's another way to do this, but this is just the way that I envision it. So I can cut holes in both the lower and upper outlets pretty simple, just based upon a mark on the floor.
Oh, ugly as I ever seen a hole. Man, it's ugly.
The tool I'm using here is a rotary tool, commonly known as a rotozip, but a lot of different companies make them, and this one happens to be made by Craftsman. This tool spins a spiral cutting bit up to 30,000 RPM. So how many of you noticed my mistake? I missed a very important step here. Let's take a look. As you can see, I've got the panel lifted with a spacer underneath. However, if we pan up, you can see the sheet I'm putting up is out of square. And if it's out of square in one dimension, then it's out of square in all dimensions. And if I would have stepped back for a minute, maybe I would have spotted this before it was too late. Here we are at the end of the wall. Although I noticed the issue about halfway through, that's a little too late to go back and fix panels, especially when you've already cut holes in them. This means that every single panel I put on this wall is skewed in the same way as the first panel, leaving the last couple sections not flush, so I have to cut two separate pieces, not only to the correct dimensions, but also to the correct skew angle to fit flush against the wall and against the tilted panels. Normally, the standard rule for screw placement in drywall is about 7 to 8 inches apart, which would be around 32 screws per sheet. The water's a little muddy on this. Manufacturers say one thing and drywall specialists tend to say another. Either way, I felt like that was a bit overkill since I'm doing 2 layers. So I'm using 20 to 24 screws per panel, depending on where I land on the studs. Another difference you may have noticed is I'm not worried about the edge of the panels like you would with drywall. They really don't matter much since the drywall will be staggered to cover the seams on the soundboard, effectively eliminating the risk of lifting or cracking due to unsecured edges. It also wasn't clear if the drywall gun was the best tool for the soundboard, so I did end up switching between that and the impact driver, sometimes even on the same section. Here's a quick real-time comparison. Although I do think with enough practice I could be much faster with a drywall gun, they about broke even in a speed test. So if you haven't caught on yet, I'm only putting a couple screws in to hold the panel in place, then cutting my outlet boxes and screwing everything down. I'm also using a drywall square to mark the screw lines. This makes it a little easier to hit the stud with every screw for those of us who don't practice paneling walls very often. You could also use a drywall square to make cut lines, and probably cut this material with 3 or 4 passes with a knife, or a number of different ways. The circular saw is probably the fastest, but not necessarily the cleanest or safest option.
Alright, the soundboard's finally in. I'm excited to take a decibel reading, see how much difference it actually makes. Okay, I've got you on my phone now because I'm really anxious to look at the footage and see how much difference that soundboard actually made. There's no way I saw that right. I'm gonna play this one more time. Two decibels. I'm pretty sure we were at 65 last time. This says 63. So all that work in there for 2. How is that even possible? I don't know how that's even possible. Well, I guess we'll move on to the sheetrock. Alright, so I'm still a little bit in disbelief. 2 decibels is all we got from installing soundboard in the entire building. Seems like a little bit of wasted effort. Obviously the cell phone is not the best tool for taking sound readings, but they all were pretty close to the same baseline to start, which leads me to believe that it's pretty accurate.
While editing this video, I realized I had gotten a new phone. From the first 3 readings to the last reading is a new phone, which also could affect the microphone and the way the app works and a bunch of different things. So that kind of debunks this test, but just from my own observation, listening to the sound, I don't hear that much of a difference. So I'm not exactly thrilled either way.
So overall, I'd probably say it's not even worth installing soundboard. Costs double what sheetrock costs more than OSB, won't hold a screw, and is as dusty as any material could be. I'm pretty sure that a factory just had a bunch of sawdust left over and they were like, we got glue, we got sawdust, let's make a panel out of it, call it soundboard, send it off. So yeah, I'd call it a fail. I don't ever plan on working with soundboard again. I hope this was helpful and informative. Maybe you got something out of it. Maybe you'll be able to think of a worthy application for soundboard. And if you know any information about soundboard, how it's produced, any real sound dampening qualifications that it has, feel free to post them in the comments. I'd be really interested to see that information. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, you guys have a good one.
It's not. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to put at the beginning of this video that this isn't a tutorial because I missed 2 screws in the stud. First time for everything. You gotta learn somehow.
You gonna learn today.
You're kidding me. Further that way. I guess if I sight down it, it's probably a better way to go. Oh my god. How many screws am I gonna put in this wall? Oh, you suck, man. How do you get leverage? How do you get leverage? Good God. I gotta pull this screw out and try again. Hit a nail. Hit a nail or something. Take 2. That went better. That's the outtakes in this first panel.
Without removing the receptacle. Is it a receptacle? It's a receptacle, right? Okay, so they're in an interchangeable term. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for an. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for. In this video, I'm going to show you how to. In this video, I'm going to cut. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for a. In this video, I'm going to show you. In this video, I'm going to show you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for an outlet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole. In this video, I'm going to show you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to. In this video, I'm going to. In this video, I'm going to. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a hole for it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut a... I think it's probably enough takes. Done. I'm excited to take a decibel reading, see how much difference it actually makes. Am I in focus? Sir? Sir? My autofocus not on? Shit. Autofocus supposed to be on. Why my autofocus not on, sir?